hands of the people. And now we're going to hear our keynote speech, Blockchain Empowers Africa. It is coming at you from Michael Terpin, who is the founder and CEO of the Transform Group. Maintenant, nous présentons Monsieur Michael Terpin, le président et fondeur du groupe Transform.
Hi, I'm Michael Terpin, and I'm pleased to be here at Africa Blockchain Week 2021 to talk about how blockchain and cryptocurrency are empowering Africa and will continue to do so for quite some time. This has been a very eventful past couple of months in 2021. We got the news in May about El Salvador being the first country in the world to adopt Bitcoin as its legal tender. And since then, several other South African nations have said they're looking to do the same thing. Africa, of course, is at the heart of the emerging economy and has been some of the fastest adopters in the last few years of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency, as well as a lot of the innovations around public, private, and permissioned blockchains. So, hi, I'm Michael Terpin, and I'm going to talk about some of the reasons behind this and where I see much of it going in the coming years. So the world is flat, is what Thomas Friedman said in his epic 2005 book, describing how powers like India were rising because they were able to provide telephone service and support to corporations at a faster, better, cheaper speed of progress than you could get in, say, Houston or Nebraska. And that meant all of a sudden that somebody who is living in Bangladesh or Mumbai could live a upper middle class lifestyle by the economics of that country, by working for behemoths in the U.S. or Europe. Blockchain now makes this flat world even flatter, and the pandemic has actually accelerated this. So this is a once in 100-year phenomenon, obviously, and the pandemic truly changed society. It was the worst pandemic by far in 100 years since the Spanish flu in the early pre-World War I era. Virtual technologies and social media use, which are already accelerating greatly, skyrocketed. Zoom, which we're using today. Hopefully next year I'll be at the physical Africa Blockchain Week in Morocco. Has become the killer app of the 2020s. And little side note, I helped launch their first product a few years ago. So big fan of the company. Massive unemployment has created new industries, new ways of doing things, new careers, and it's also created massive stockpiles of inventory, shortages, and virtual worlds and virtual economies need a virtual currency. That's Bitcoin, that's Ethereum, that's central bank digital currencies, all interoperating on a global basis. So Bitcoin is the first. Bitcoin created the blockchain. It's become the great equalizer. And, love it or hate it, it's what opens the door to everything else. So we'll look at some problems and some solutions that have happened in Africa specifically over the last century, even over the last decades. There's the old way, the way that revolves around centralized governments and central banks and fiat currencies. To this day, in 2021, the vast majority of the world, and in particular, the vast majority of Africans, don't have access to banking. Geography has become their destiny. If you're born in a poor village in Nigeria, you are probably going to stay, or maybe you'll make it to the big city of Lagos. But it's a small number who are able to make it out and into the world economy. Perhaps wealth or talent and some combination of wealth gets them to London, and then from there on, they're able to go and live a first world existence of some sort. It, of course, is impossible in life to get ahead for the vast majority of Africans growing up in poverty or in near poverty by global comparisons. And the first world, therefore, has hoarded all the profits. They've done that for a long time. And capital for smart entrepreneurs has been deployed at the top of the stack. It's been deployed in the markets of London and New York, and only in recent years, Hong Kong and Tokyo. So here's the new blockchain way that really is a difference. Instead of having the majority of the world unbanked, you can be your own bank. If you've got a mobile phone, you have access to the same types of services faster, better, and cheaper than any bank can provide you. You can, instead of geography becoming your destiny, you can freely participate in the global economy. You can go and be a consultant to a blockchain company, to a supply chain management company, to anybody who can go and interact with you on the internet and can pay you and interact with you via blockchain anywhere in the world. You can have clients in Sydney, Switzerland, Shanghai, all from your home base in rural Rhodesia. So talent and drive will therefore win in a level playing field in this flattened world. And emerging markets can grow much faster and will and have been growing much faster than the stagnation of the EU and the US in a world where all of a sudden there's so much opportunity for those who can deploy it faster, better, and cheaper. And in a global flat economy, capital flows to the efficient. This is a huge opportunity for Africa. So we're going to talk a little bit beyond Bitcoin about Ethereum, decentralized finance known as DeFi, and NFTs, which are non-fungible tokens. So let's start with DeFi. Anyone in the world can now get or be the provider of a loan. Through Ethereum, Ethereum allows smart contracts and these DeFi protocols, which now have tens of billions of dollars, up from almost nothing 2 years ago, allow anyone in the world to go in, put up collateral, and get a loan. This is going to lead, in my opinion, to a huge explosion of decentralized microfinance. Microfinance was a big innovation in India. It certainly has worked out in Africa as well, but it still has its issues. It's still very centralized. It's still something that has very high fees. It's not very transparent in many cases. And with the blockchain, you have complete transparency, you have enforceability through smart contracts, and you'll have the ability for somebody to go in and have a microloan that's provided by anybody anywhere in the world to someone in Africa who can really get a business off the ground for hundreds of dollars a month. And there are other alternatives in terms of universal basic income that can be done through variants of DeFi, like staking and mining and liquidity provision, that NGOs and other groups that are out to help certain segments of Africa can go and be able to deploy this and not have to rely solely on the IMF and on charitable resources from the G20 world. Over time, central bank digital currencies, which are being deployed as much in Africa as anywhere else, Africa and the Caribbean, where I'm here in Puerto Rico, and I'm a founder of the Caribbean Blockchain Alliance from 2015. This is banking the unbanked has been a huge problem in the Caribbean, in Latin America, as well, obviously, as Southeast Asia, and Africa is almost the poster child for how DeFi can be helpful. NFTs also developed on Ethereum and other Ethereum blockchain related platforms like Binance Smart Chain, Polygon, etc., are allowing in the first world for artists to be able to go in and sell their art anywhere in the world on a tokenized basis. There's been a real bull market for that, and this will also allow for African artists and musicians and video makers to be able to exploit the technology to their benefit and to be able to go and join in this worldwide market. NFTs also are not just about creativity and art and music. Non-fungible tokens can work with smart contracts to be able to tokenize land ownership. It's been a big problem for many decades about how you prove that your family owns this plot of land and where it is. And so NFTs are one of the options that a number of companies are working on now, and I believe that's going to accelerate, including with African entrepreneurs. who are now getting funded in many cases through DeFi and through the accessibility to capital that the blockchain is providing. And then this allows these services to provide without all of the rules that have happened when you go through the centralized governments instead of operating on a global basis. And that's pretty much it. I am delighted to be speaking with you today. I'm happy to take any virtual questions, but I guess I'm going to have to do that through email and Twitter. I'm at Michael Terpin, and it's MICHAELTERPIN, and that's on Twitter and LinkedIn and a few other platforms. And then also I'm Michael at transformgroup.com. Thank you.